over 40 countries and over half the US states in the last 4 years, and everyone always asks us, where should I go on my honeymoon? So in this video, we're gonna give you our top 10 recommendations for honeymoon destinations around the world, and we'll jump right in at number 10.
Whether you're dreaming of a serene beach escape, an overwater bungalow during the sunset, or scaling the side of a mountain in search of an epic adventure, or even a wildlife experience that you'll never forget, we've got you covered. Today, we're diving into the ultimate honeymoon destinations to visit and have every month of the year covered. From luxurious getaways to budget-friendly spots, both in the US and around the world, there's something for every couple on this list. So if you're planning your perfect honeymoon, stay tuned for the best places to go and the best times to visit. If you guys are new here, we're Giselle and Steven, also known as the Lover's Passport, and we have had the luxury of traveling to over 42 countries together and staying at some of the most beautiful resorts in the world. And we are taking what we've learned from the past 5 years of traveling to all the places we've been and bringing it down into our 10 favorite places that we would recommend for you to go on a honeymoon. So with that, let's get started with the more budget-friendly places to go on your dream honeymoon, and we'll work our way up to the most luxurious spots at the end.
So our first location is Cancun, Mexico. Now this is where we went on our mini moon. It is absolutely stunning. This place is for you if you love beautiful blue water, if you are interested in more of the all-inclusive where you have a beautiful resort with your own beach, you have great service, amazing views. When we were here, we stayed at Secrets of the Vine. It was the perfect place to stay. The beach was absolutely stunning and there's so much to do all around the area. The best time to go to Cancun is from May until June. That way it's not too hot and you avoid a lot of the bad weather. If you guys are visiting Cancun, 3 things that you need to do are: number 1, go on a day trip out to Chichen Itza. It is a beautiful wonder of the world. It has some amazing architecture that dates back thousands of years. So if you guys are into history and want to see a wonder of the world, definitely take the day trip. It is a longer one, but it is definitely worth it. If you guys are out near Chichen Itza, another thing that you have to do is check out the cenotes. There are so many gorgeous cenotes right outside of Chichen Itza, as well as that takes us to number 2, which is taking a day trip down to Playa del Carmen or Tulum. There are so many cenotes here depending on your budget. If you want to go scuba diving, just relax in them, or just go for the beautiful Instagram photos. There is so much to do in Playa del Carmen and Tulum. And the last thing that we would recommend doing in Cancun is getting out on the water. You can go snorkeling there. The water is perfect temperature and it is absolutely stunning. We had hundreds of feet of visibility when we were snorkeling and scuba diving, as well as if you're here in the right time of the year, you can actually go and swim with the biggest sharks in the world called the whale shark. We were there in July and it was one of our bucket list activities that we love to do there. You can book a lot of these on Get Your Guide, so we'll link some of our favorite activities down below. But if you guys are looking for one of the most budget-friendly honeymoons, then we would definitely recommend Cancun.
Welcome to the next destination, which is the Dominican Republic.
And now there's a ton of beautiful destinations within the Dominican Republic itself, so we'd recommend 3 major ones. The first being Punta Cana. Punta Cana is probably the most popular destination in the Dominican Republic for tourism, and it's really easy to see why. The water is absolutely stunning. It's some of that crystal clear turquoise blue water that rivals Cancun and the Bahamas, and it is so nice. Like, the sand is all super white and fine. It's not rocky at all. There's really good swimming and snorkeling nearby and lots of good excursion options from your hotels. If you're looking for an all-inclusive scene, this is also another really great area to save some money because you do have a ton of all-inclusive options. When we went, we stayed at the Iberostar Gran Bavaro and had an absolutely lovely time. We would highly recommend staying at that hotel. The other spots, if you guys were not interested in Punta Cana and you wanted more of a local, authentic kind of honeymoon where you're really immersed in culture, we'd recommend checking out Samana and Cabarete. Those were 2 amazing spots around the northern side of the Dominican Republic, and it was amazing. We went to some really cool national parks like Los Haitisas. We caught all of the incredible windsurfers and kiteboarders out in Cabarete, and then Samana just has a ton of really cool waterfalls as well. So lots to do here. Now, if you're choosing Punta Cana, which is probably if you're looking for a more relaxing trip, there's a few things that we definitely recommend doing. The first one is doing a day trip sailing out to the Sauna Island. Absolutely stunning blue water around here. Make sure to book your tour in advance because they do sell out pretty quickly. We'll link it down in the description for you as well. But the water is is unbelievable here. If you're not already heading out to Samana, we definitely recommend a day trip out there. You can go visit Los Haitises National Park, which basically looked like a scene out of Avatar. We went on a sailing out to the national park, got some lunch on the boat, got to watch sunset. We got to see a ton of dolphins and caves everywhere, and we were the only people in the national park. So it's a super underrated destination if you guys like a little bit more adventure for your honeymoon. Last but not least, we'd recommend checking out the Escape Park, which might not be your jam if you don't like zip lining or cenotes, but if you do, then this is definitely the spot. They offer everything from rappelling adventures, swimming in the Hoyo Azul cenote, which was very refreshing and fun. We also did a ton of zip lining, and they also have some optional extra tours like ATVs and stuff. So lots of adventure to be had at the day park. We ended up just doing about like a half day. You can stay until around 5 p.m. It's a pretty long day, but we didn't need that much time there. So then we just went back to our resort to relax afterwards. But we thought it was worth it. It's about $59 to go for the day, and we had a ton of fun. If you're planning on doing Dominican Republic for your honeymoon, we'd recommend visiting somewhere between December and March. That's the best time to visit. We actually just came back from a trip there in May, and it was still really nice weather, sunny every single day. It was just really hot. So expect around 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit every single day if you're traveling in May or anytime after. And so we'd recommend any of that time of year. And now we just wanted to take a quick moment to introduce the sponsor of today's video, HoloFly.
One of the first things that we do whenever we go on an international trip is make sure to get an eSIM, because that way you can avoid expensive roaming charges from your carrier as well as unreliable public Wi-Fi.
They have it available in over 190 different destinations, and we personally have used it all over the world because of their unlimited data package in over 140 different destinations. In our opinion, the unlimited data package is what makes the difference for us, because a lot of the other companies that we have used, you have to reload the data on your card once you run out. So if you were doing longer trips, for instance, if we were in Italy for a whole month, being able to use HoloFly and have it unlimited for the entire time there is a great use of it. So before you go on your honeymoon, make sure to click the link down below so you can land, get off the plane, and have no worries with your internet. It takes 5 minutes to set up. After you purchase it from the link down below using the code The Lover's Passport, you'll get 5% off. You'll get a QR code directly to your phone, and you can instantly start accessing the internet. One more time, thank you to HoloFly for sponsoring this video. And with that, let's jump into the next destination. Now we're gonna be jumping into the Florida Keys. If you have never heard of the Florida Keys, just imagine some of the bluest water that you've ever seen, and it is not very deep. It is basically around 10 to 30 feet deep for miles and miles and miles. This place is perfect for a honeymoon, especially if you wanna do a little bit of a road trip. There are multiple spots along the Florida Keys. It takes a few hours to drive from Miami all the way down to Key West, which is the very end, and that is going to be the first place that we recommend. If you guys are looking for beautiful blue water, a stunning place to watch the sunset and really just relax, we would definitely recommend spending some time in Key West. It has a great party scene, really good food, and like we said, the sunsets here are to die for. The next thing that we recommend doing is spending some time out at Alligator Reef. This reef was beautiful. It has a great lighthouse that develops a lot of marine life directly under it, so you can go snorkeling with a ton of fish. You might have the opportunities to see some bigger animals there as well, so we definitely recommend hopping on a boat, taking a day tour out there and spending some time in the water. And the last thing, if you guys are really adventurous, is we would recommend stopping in Isla Mirada. This spot has so much to do, from beautiful state parks to go and check out. It has great scuba diving next to it. The water is just as blue as it is out at Key West, and this place felt a lot more chill. If you guys are looking for a little bit more of a party scene and upbeat, then I would definitely recommend Key West to stay. But if you guys are looking for a little bit more chill, a lot more accommodations, then I would definitely recommend staying in Isla Mirada. If you guys really want to spice up your honeymoon, then we would definitely recommend making dinner reservations on Sunset Key. This has one of the best overlooks and best sunset areas from all of the Florida Keys, as well as it is very, very luxurious. You definitely are going to want to make reservations pretty far in advance though. If you want to see our full guide to the Florida Keys, if you are definitely thinking about going here on your honeymoon, check out the description down below, as we have a full video dedicated to the Florida Keys. Next up, we're going to be heading to Spain, and we are going to be going to Mallorca. Mallorca is one of the most beautiful beautiful islands that we have seen in Europe. The water is incredible. The beaches are beautiful, white sandy beaches. The atmosphere is great. If you really want to experience the city, you can stay in Palma, but we recommend definitely getting out of the city and heading to the coast. On the coast, you'll find one of our favorite beaches called Cala Mondrago. This beach is absolutely stunning. We stayed here for about a half day on our cruise to Mallorca and spent almost a full day there on our most recent visit. Another beach that you need to check out is Cala Lombardo. This beach is beautiful. It's a little bit smaller than Cala Mondrago. It felt a lot more family friendly and it had a lot more parking comparatively to Cala Mondrago. The last spot, if you guys are into history, on the opposite side of the island is the town of Dea. This is going to be the mountainous area of Mallorca. So if you guys are looking for more beachy vibes, relaxing, jumping in the water on your honeymoon, then I would definitely recommend checking out the beaches on the right side of it. But if you guys are looking for more of the history, mountainous, biking, hiking, then I would recommend the area of Dea. They have some absolutely stunning cities there. We think this is a honeymoon destination because of the beautiful blue water, how easy it was to get around, and how safe it felt. The pricing was not too bad for how much you can experience on this one island. If you guys are looking to stay on more of a budget, we would definitely recommend the Iberostar Selection Luant Palma or the Iberostar Selection Alfura Playa. But if you guys are looking to ball out on your honeymoon, we would definitely recommend staying at the Belmont in Dea. This spot is one of the most famous properties in Europe, so you will not want to miss it. The best time to visit Mallorca is going to be from April until September, but we would definitely recommend visiting later in August or September if you really want to spend your time in the water, because it's going to be a lot warmer. If you want to see our ultimate guide to Mallorca, we spent a good chunk of time here where we covered all of our favorite beaches, must visit places, and where we'd recommend staying. We'll go ahead and link that down in the description as well, so you can check that video out. The next spot is going to be Italy. Now in Italy, it is such a beautiful country. It really depends what you are looking for. What we would recommend doing is starting in Rome. Rome has so much history. There's amazing food in Rome as well. It is pretty budget friendly if you guys are looking to ball on a budget. The next spot we would recommend going is Venice. Venice is a little bit more expensive than Rome, but it does have a lot more of that magical feel. If you guys want to take a day trip from Venice, we would highly recommend visiting Burano or Murano. Both of these little towns are absolutely magical. They're Instagram famous because of how colorful and lively they are. And the last place that we would recommend visiting is the famous Cinque Terre. This area has all the small fishermen villages. It does get very, very busy during the day, but since you will be on your honeymoon, you can stay in these small fishermen villages and feel like you have it all to yourself as you watch the sunrise and sunset come up in these beautiful little bays. Those are the three spots we would recommend visiting in Italy if you guys are taking a little bit of a train trip or doing a road trip through Italy, as well as there are so many other places like the Dolomites and Tuscany and Positano. It really depends what you are looking for, but Italy, in our opinion, is a great bang for your buck, and the food in Italy is to die for. The best time to visit Italy is in April or October because it's the shoulder seasons. The middle of summer does get extremely busy, so I would just take that into account when you guys are planning on visiting. If you're planning to do the coast, I would definitely recommend more September or October, so it's nice and warm when you guys go and jump in the water. If you guys are looking to experience a lot more of the springtime magic and less crowds, then definitely looking at April or May would be better, but it will be a little bit colder on your honeymoon.
Now, this next one could be a little controversial, but from our experience, we absolutely loved it, and that is the island of Santorini in Greece. We spent our time here primarily in the village of Ia, and it was so beautiful. People are pretty hit and miss on this one because it is extremely busy during the summertime. However, we thought it was totally worth the hype. Really, if you are staying on the island, it's not going to be as busy in the morning or the late evenings because a lot of the people visiting are day trippers from cruise lines and stuff. As long as you keep that in mind and have an open expectation, Santorini is absolutely amazing. They have some of the best Mediterranean food. The water is incredible and refreshing. There's some cliff diving spots, some really beautiful tavernas on the side of the water, and the actual just architecture of Santorini is super beautiful. So we really loved our time here, and we think you would too if you're looking for a little more luxury and you want to stay in one place. Or you can also hop on around the Greek islands if you don't want to just stay in Santorini the whole time. The best time to visit would probably be around April to June or the later months of September to October. Once again, because Europe does get really busy for, Euro summer, we'd recommend checking it out in the shoulder seasons. If you guys want some of that swimming temperatures, then I would say September to October is probably the best bang for your buck. And yeah, we highly recommended Santorini. We think we will absolutely be going back. Next up, we have another USA destination, which is the islands of Hawaii. We have absolutely loved every trip we've done to Hawaii. I have some family that actually lives there. We have been to all the 4 major Hawaiian islands and absolutely love all of them. However, they are a little bit different. So if you're choosing Hawaii for your honeymoon destination, there's a few things that you might want to consider. If you're looking for more of an adventurous honeymoon, we would recommend choosing the island of Kauai. You have a lot to do there. We actually have a full video on Kauai, which we'll link down below in the description for you. Definitely the highlight of it was doing a doors off helicopter ride over the Nepali coast. It was absolutely incredible. We got rainbows. We got to be above all of the beautiful coastline, and it was a once in a lifetime experience for sure. We have a ton more recommendations in that video, so we'll let you check that out down below. If you guys are looking for more of a romantic, chill kind of honeymoon, then we'd recommend checking out Maui. We stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, and it was a beautiful property. Would 100% recommend staying here for your honeymoon. It is the perfect, luxurious beachside destination. 2 things you have to do while visiting Maui on your honeymoon is going up to Haleakala National Park and seeing the sunrise overlooking all of the volcano craters. It was super beautiful. Make sure to make reservations for that in advance because it does book out. And then also try out the road to Hana. There's a lot of beautiful waterfalls to check out along the way. But last but not least, if you're looking for a little bit of everything, some better nightlife, better dining, then you're going to want to check out Oahu. We have all of our favorites linked in a blog below for more information on planning your trip to Hawaii. Best time to visit any of the Hawaiian islands, in our opinion, would be anywhere from May to September. We typically will go in May and October because those are those shoulder season months, once again, where pricing is going to be a little bit easier and the crowds are going to be a little less. So we highly recommend doing that. It is a mid-tier budget range, so some of the hotels are pretty pricey, especially if you're staying in luxury properties like that Ritz-Carlton. Expect to be spending around $600 to $800 a night, but there's definitely other ways to get around that with staying in very nice luxury Airbnbs or some lower level hotels. Now we're jumping into the big buck section. This is where you are willing to ball out for your honeymoon, a little more expensive. With that being said, let's jump into the beautiful happy island of Aruba. This island is so cool because you can actually drive around the whole thing in just about an hour, and there's so much to do. From the beautiful blue water to Arakoke National Park to some of the most world-renowned beaches like Baby Beach and Eagle Beach, you have to check out this island. Now, where should you stay on Aruba? We spent our time at the Divi and Tamarin Resort, and we had a really good time. That's another one of those all-inclusives. We also decided to opt out to eat dinner elsewhere because there are so many good restaurants around the island, so up to you really. But if you guys want to see more on Aruba, check out the description box below. Coming in at number 9 out of 10, we have the beautiful Whitsunday Islands off the coast of Australia. If you are looking to ever see the Great Barrier Reef, this is the place to go. This is actually where we decided to spend our Valentine's Day and anniversary a couple years ago, and we were absolutely blown away. The beaches are these fine white silica beaches. The water is truly some of the most turquoise blue we've ever done. The scuba diving is great because of the diversity of wildlife that you're going to see, the vast array of coral, and the water is so warm. I think it's about 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so you barely even have to wear a wetsuit. So super nice if you are into a ton of water activities. There are 3 main things that you absolutely want to do if you're visiting the Whitsundays for your honeymoon. That is visiting Hill Inlet. It's an iconic, beautiful overlook over the Whitsunday Islands, and there's a few providers that you can go with out here. Next up would be doing a helicopter ride over Heart Reef. If it's your honeymoon, what's more romantic than going up in a helicopter and flying over a heart-shaped island? I don't know. Once you finish up your helicopter ride, they will drop you off at Whitehaven Beach, which is one of the most famous beaches in the world. It was actually categorized as the best beach in the world a couple years back. It's very easy to understand why. The sand is actually made out of silica, and you can sharpen your new shiny wedding jewelry with it, and it'll come out all shiny. So all good stuff. Definitely recommend checking out the Whitsundays. This is definitely more of a pricey one. There are Airbnb options available, but most people will stay at the hotels down on the coast. We opted for Hamilton Island, and that definitely felt like the right place to be to do everything we wanted to do in the Great Barrier Reef and the surrounding areas. So highly recommend staying on Hamilton Island. And now, last but not least, we are getting to the pinnacle of luxury and romance, which is Bora Bora in French Polynesia. Now, this was our personal honeymoon destination choice, and we were so beyond happy that we went this route. It is absolutely expensive. Be prepared to drop around $10,000 to $30,000 for at least a week to 2 weeks here because it is really, really pricey. But that being said, it is insane. Like, we were absolutely blown away. We stayed at both the Four Seasons and the St. Regis in Bora Bora for about 5 days total. And the water there is truly the bluest water we've seen in the entire world. The service is top notch. The food and the dining at each of the restaurants at both of the hotels that we stayed at was incredible. The best time to visit here, in our opinion, is from May to October. And especially if you want to go swimming with humpback whales, which you can still do out here, as well as Moorea, its neighboring sister island, you're going to want to go towards August to October if that is in your interest area. Top 3 things to do besides swimming with humpback whales would be doing a jet ski tour around the island, doing a lagoon tour, and then of course going out and scuba diving. There's so much biodiversity out there in the ocean. Lots of stingrays and sharks and really cool tropical fish. So if you like to scuba dive, this is a great spot for you as well. We will link all of our resources on French Polynesia. We have a ton down in the description for you guys. And if you have any questions about any of these top honeymoon destinations, feel free to leave it down in the comments below and we'll be more than happy to help you plan your perfect honeymoon. And that is basically it for this video. Once again, thank you so much to Holofly for sponsoring this video. If you are planning your honeymoon to any of these international beautiful destinations, we 10 out of 10 recommend getting their eSIM plan for easy planning and a hassle-free way to stay connected on your honeymoon. You want to make sure you can share all of your baller selfies from around the world. So we'll link our code, the Lover's Passport, for 5% off down below in the description box so you can make sure that you're all set on your honeymoon.
That is it for our top 10 honeymoon destinations video. If you guys liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and let us know down in the comments which one would you choose for your honeymoon, or if you did go on a honeymoon and it wasn't on this list, drop it down below. And with that, we will see you on the next adventure.